Hello YouTube and welcome back to Carrie's Bariatric Gardening. So nice to see you here for another official garden tour. Before we get this tour underway, there is some tomato business I need to address. As you can see, there are some holes in my garden. I had something show up that is like a dreaded thing. I noticed a problem with some of the forming tomatoes. As you can see on some of the other ones, there are lots of tomatoes forming, right? Well, these ones that were forming on one of the plants had some strange spots on them. I'll put a picture here. I talked to my tomato guys. Yeah, I've got tomato guys. The experts identified the issue pretty fast, at least what it's suspected to be. I really doubt it's anything else because it's behaving exactly like what they described. And I had to contact the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. I got some information from them and then found some information out of my own and started looking at everything else, and I am going to have to cull tomatoes today. Okay, so this is the thing with viruses, and especially this one, it seems to be very, very catchy, kind of like coronavirus, right? And if you see a problem, don't even think twice. You take that stuff out, because if that stuff spreads, it could be your whole garden. So the minute I saw that affected plant, I took it out, and now I have to take out, I think on this row, maybe like 9. Yeah, a lot of them. I'm going to have to cull a lot of the plants, but I'm doing this as a preventative measure. I have to do this because it's so catchy. Preventative measures have to be done like early and extremely in a way, at least from what I read about this. The suspected virus is called the tomato brown rugose fruit virus, and it's not good. If you see anything like this, definitely report it to your local extension office and let other gardeners in your areas know to look out for this, because bees can bring it from plant to plant. Isn't that great? Can't really quarantine the bees, can we? So a lot of this is going to come out. I have plants in this row affected. This row still hasn't been turned over yet. I'm still waiting on that one. This is crazy. That's my Rampicante squash. Okay, nuts. All right, but let's go through the whole garden. But I'll start here with the front. Apple tree is doing all right, but I think something might be going after the apples because I'm noticing some fruit drops. So I might protect those in some net bags. So starting in row number 1 over here, I've got 1,500-year-old cave beans that are taken off, and if you can see, I've got the morning glory trained around that. So I think once this grows and starts flowering, it's just gonna look amazing. This tomato row has affected tomatoes that will have to be culled. The zucchini's doing great. Ooh, look at the little baby zucchinis going there. And this tarragon is also looking lovely. Oh, it's gonna be such a shame. I mean, so far I haven't seen, well, this one's got to go, obviously. There's something going on with this one, leaf curl, something. And I do believe its partner next here has to go, which might be a shame because it's got some nice tomatoes forming there, but that's life. At this point, this is where the shelling peas were. I harvested the shelling peas. I'll show you some pictures of those peas. And I'll be making some tortellini with those peas tonight. Oh, this squash is taking off like crazy. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see this? I don't know if it's setting any fruit yet, but it is certainly is getting big. That's for sure. I don't know if it really needs a cage, but it might be intertwined at this point. Okra is starting to take off. Holy peppers. Look at this, guys. Do you remember what this looked like last week? Yeah. Let's see. This is what it looked like last week. This is crazy. And I've got peppers. And I've got peppers. And I've got peppers. I put up this trellis here, and I have got long beans planted in there and some different types of basil. The basil's looking really, really lovely. These peas were the purple snow peas. You can sort of see some of them there. And these are sort of, they look like they're reaching the end. Peas are sort of reaching the end, and this heat has been super brutal. All right, so this trellis is doing great. These are, let's see if I can get myself in the shot. These are watermelons that are starting to take off here. I'm so excited. So there's a, I think, sugar baby watermelon, and this one is a Cajo watermelon, and I'm super excited for those. Those look really, really neat. I've also got some basil there, and some zinnias planted around. And in the other ones, in here, I think I have muskmelon, and, oh no, this is the rich sweetness melon, and the other one is muskmelon. And I have like a few random peppers in there as well, but everything is looking super great. I mean, this Rampicante is just like, I mean, come on, what? That's crazy. It was over here like last week. I don't know. I'll have to see what it looked like in the last tour, because like it's like, whoa, it's taken off. And can you see this? They're cute little fruities. And this is another Dan Barber squash, like the one that's over there. This is the 898, I think. Although no, maybe not. The leaves look kind of different. Sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes nature makes a mistake. Who knows what happened there? This part here in the middle is still sort of like in transition. Not really sure what I'm going to do with this yet. It might be my next place for doing lettuces. We'll see if I can get some shade there. This row is definitely affected. So this is a row that I planted from suckers from there. And because the one that I removed was already like big, it was almost as big as its neighbor there, the really big one. And so a lot of these plants are affected. And so like I've already taken one of them out. Oh, I wanted to show you this lettuce though. Oh my God, because like look at this. So you know when I planted this, last time it was just, yep. So 2 weeks growth already. So that tells you like if you want to do like baby leaf salads and that kind of thing, 2 weeks. Like it's so like you germinate the seeds inside. You can do like a mass, you know, bundle of germination, and then just like plant them out as you go. That system I find works so well. I'm really, really happy with the progress on there. I got 2 new sprouts come up on my asparagus, so I'm very happy because it means that the roots are developing nicely. And so I think by next year, hopefully, I should be able to harvest them. And then I've got rattlesnake pole beans over here. I think with another, I don't know, I thought I planted a morning glory here as well, and there might be one, but I'm not quite sure. And then I've got some different nasturtiums planted here as well. You can just see them starting to pop up there. All right, so this garlic, let's talk about it, because we are just getting to the point of starting to be able to harvest this garlic. With garlic, you have to watch for it. So if you've got garlic in there, if you're doing hard neck, you've already snapped your scapes off. And we are looking for brown tips and the browning on the bottom. So you want 1, 2, 3. This one is not quite ready, but you could still harvest it at that size if you want to make sure it doesn't go too far. This one, if you see, 1, 2, 3. Since this third one is brown, this one is ready. What I do to clean them up is I like to remove the first 2 layers. And so I peel that off, and then I just trim the bottoms. And then I put it upside down to hang like this in a cool, dry place. And it'll cure like that until it's dry. And once it's completely dry, that's when I bundle it. So since this area was interplanted, I also want to show you that I'm being careful when I harvest and making sure that I don't disturb the lettuces that I have planted in between. So the second bunch of Holando peas started coming in, and they are still producing a ton. I swear, I pick these probably every day. Sugar snap peas are slowing down a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them there. I might put something else there, but we'll see. I don't have to worry about it yet. These Oric ones, I decided I'm going to keep a few more for seed and maybe do like, because this Oric gets huge, like, look at this thing. Seriously. okay? And you can use it as a natural trellis for stuff. So I might put some cucumbers or something here, or some beans, maybe some. These will be here till the end of the season and the seed is ready. These ones are also, I think, starting to slow down a little bit. They've been really great for me. These are the Karubi de Muskmelon snow pea. And these are known for making like a really, really nice, consistent long snow pea. This is still like a little baby one. They get quite large. They're pretty cool. That'll be all turned over probably next week. Probably next week. I have a little bit of soil still left in the front to transfer, so you have to do that sort of like little by little. But I'll tell you, I think it's like helping my abs. Like, look, it's like, that's like solid there. Yeah. Gardening definitely really, really like, yeah, I was also sort of fly before. I don't quite have the definition that I had before, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. The tomatoes. So this is where I'm going to be removing a lot of them. And I'm going to turn so at first sight, like, everything sort of looks quite alright, right? You know? There's a lot of growth and all of that. But there are problems brewing here. Yeah. So this here, you see that? That's indicative of the disease. And this is my poor rhubarb Brussels sprout. So this was a little baby last year that never grew and like survived over winter, and now it's sort of coming into glory, but the cabbage wipe has been like all over it, and I've been having to squish them. There is one. Sorry, guy. They will eat up your plants to bits. That's what happens. So there are ways to deal with this. You can use diatomaceous earth. I will show you how I dealt with this with my Brussels sprout in the front. This is another one of the plants that's affected. Here you can sort of really see, you know, that affecting the plant. And here on this one, you can see there are affected tomatoes. So yeah, this one is gone with the wind. Its neighbor behind is also affected. This one is also affected. This one looks affected. I don't see it yet on the tomatoes. It's like heartbreaking. Even that one, there it has tomatoes. But this one has, the tomatoes are being, but hey, look at this beautiful lettuce. You know, I think it's important. Oh, and also I should say the beans are being like picked at and eaten at by the Mexican bean beetle, but they're doing all right. I've got flowers going, so that means that they'll be setting fruit. This is the weed. So this came with my compost. I'm not that impressed that there was that much of these lamb's quarters in that compost. Something to ask about when you're buying stuff like that from a landscape company is what exactly is in this mix, and I want to guarantee so I don't have weeds all over the place. Like, honestly, buy the more expensive stuff. It's worth it. This one's also, yeah, because, you know, I can't just talk about the shit tomatoes. I've also got to talk about, like, some of the other nice stuff going on, because there's, I mean, that's the thing, there's a lot of diversity. Look at this basil. So basil, you don't want it to go to seed, you want it to sort of bush out, so you want to be picking the flowering heads off of your basil. All right. Smells amazing. All right. And the lettuce that's in the middle, because these tomatoes are having a problem, I can't use them for the stand, so I'm going to be seeing if I could donate them to the food bank. But yeah, no, beans and the basil are doing great. Like, there are lots of wins to talk about, not just this crazy situation going on. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, you know, I've got this first blush. Look, guys. My first tomato is blushing, and I'm really, really praying that this plant maintains its health, because, wow, look at it. It's so vigorous. You know, keep your fingers crossed for me. Say a little prayer for my tomatoes, if you can. I find room. There's a lot of other things to pray for right now. You know, you don't have to pray for my tomatoes. Look at this cabbage. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Like, oh, this is just... I think it's called Valiceo di Verona. So over here in the wilder back part of the garden, I've got raspberries coming in. That is the rhubarb. I've got to harvest, I think, like maybe one more stalk off of it, and one or two maybe, and I'm going to leave the rest for the season. With rhubarb, you have to leave a certain number, like you should only be harvesting like 30% of the plant. Either that or you have to leave at least 30% of the plant. Something like that. So, don't harvest your whole rhubarb. You need to leave some so that it powers the plant's roots through the winter. Yeah, more raspberries coming in all over here. Over here. Gonna grab another one. Yeah, maybe not that one. This one looks good though. Yes. This horseradish is crazy. These tomatoes are my paste tomatoes, and I haven't touched them as of yet. And so I'm gonna not touch them until I see what's going on with all of this. I'm not pruning them, I'm not doing anything to them. They need to be pruned, mind you. But I'd rather not kill them if they're not infected, and I'd rather not infect the soil. So I'm just gonna leave them for now. But this is started today. Isn't that gorgeous? These are daylilies. I got this in a trade from my local gardening group on Facebook. We do a lot of trading in that group. It's so fun. If you haven't already, if you're a gardener, join a local gardening group, and you know, you could trade for seeds, all different stuff. You get great advice and learn a little bit more about like what works in your area and stuff. Really great resource. This is where I have all the different beans in there planted, and I'm going to be covering this so that the bean beetles don't decimate them. The pear tree, pear is still growing. There's a pear. Lettuce is doing great. This is going to be harvested out like pretty soon. I think this weekend it's scheduled for harvesting, I believe. And this cardoon flower is looking pretty cool. It's got like, look at this. Okay. Oh my God, I hear the turkey. Okay guys, there's a turkey. There's a turkey in the field behind here. Oh my God, she's got a whole little flock of babies. I just wanted to make a little note about my red currant. It's funny, I was out here, and I've said this before. If it looks like it's ready to harvest, if you're like, I'm gonna pick that tomorrow, pick it today. Because I was in my room and I'm like, oh, crows in the garden, I wonder what's going on with that. Yeah, they stole most of my red currants. They stole most of them. Crows are very smart. Corvids are like the smartest bird. A couple left that are at the, and I know it was them because, yeah, the ones that were on the bottom and hidden didn't get eaten. So, these are pretty tart. I don't know. I can get you anyway. Okay. I can understand why the crows stole them. Good. I have a feeling that Rampicante, if it grew this much in a week, that means by like next week it might be like over. That's crazy. There's another area we still have to cover here. I planted the cucumbers here, and then something did come and eat one of them. But the other plant is doing good, and I've got a couple starts that are really tiny. Hopefully they'll pull through. Pretty much my rose look like it's kind of done at this point. It was glorious when it bloomed. Blackberries are doing nicely. See? And this garlic is like a little bit later than the other one. And so this one is not quite ready to start coming out yet. The eggplants and other things in pots are doing pretty good. That one might have a fruit on it. It did flower, so I'm not quite sure if it's got a fruit set yet, but it is starting to do stuff here, so that is very cool. I still have like a few stragglers here and there. These are some cucurbits that I started up again. So like these are some of the new sprouts that I've got. What I've got here, Charentais melon, yum. Oh, and this is early crookneck. So like I've got to plant these out. So I think in some of the places where I've got to remove tomatoes and remove all the soil, I'll be putting something like a squash in there. I don't want to put tomatoes because it could just infect something new. So, yeah. The strawberry pot is looking quite nice, and I'm really, really excited about how it's working out with the sunflower. I figured that would work because strawberries have fairly shallow roots, and that sunflower has a really deep root, so it kind of shares the space well in that. I think it's going to be kind of neat to see how that plays out. This is the other side of the arch. And so look, I've got a few flowers interplanted here and stuff. This is another eggplant that looks like it's about to flower soon. Some like potted morning glories. This is looking really cool. These have to be like deadheaded so badly. I've got like a watermelon in this corner. We'll see how that does. This is cucumbers over here that are going to be trellised up. And then I've got some peppers that'll hang out in the front where they're going to have sun. I think this is another Rampicante that I planted here. I think. Do I remember? No. Did I write it down? Of course not. These are so cool. Okay, so these are Taiwan white bitter melon. I couldn't get the Japanese white one to germinate well, but I ordered Taiwan white and they are doing brilliantly. I'm really looking forward to that. And then over here, I have a futsu squash in the corner, and I've got beans planted sort of all around to go up. Oh, I still, like, this is so beautiful. It's just like taking my heart today. I love it. There's actually another one over there by the garlic. So yeah, this is really starting to do nice stuff. I'm gonna have like more of these morning glories open tomorrow. These ones here, which are like the, I think it's sunrise something like that. I can't remember. But in the meantime, let's go around to the front and see what is doing over there.